Okay, so I don't know if you can guess what happened, but it used to happen all the time. My phone was full. And it's so weird too, because I had just went and deleted all my old videos and stuff. You can only hold like 10 videos, and then it's fucking full now. So I go and delete them, and then so it just went off, and so I go look, and then it says I didn't delete them out of the deleted folder. So, anyways, and it was too full. Couldn't hold another thing. So it just stops what it's doing. It says, nope, your phone, your storage is full. You're done. Go manage your storage. So I went and managed my storage, made another cup of tea. And of course, in our regular routine, that's when we have cookies. So we had to have a couple cookies. Stella's not having it if we're not having our cookies. So, anyways, but so I'm only going to talk a little more just because it just cut off suddenly. I'll say a little more, but usually when I do these short videos, nobody ever watches them anyways. But I will say, the one thing too is my stuff isn't based on a book. Mine is based on my real life experiences, which, that, I don't know. It was Jesus's real life experiences that got him where he was, but I don't know, people don't value that so much unless it's written in the book. But to me, I know that the part of us that's real and the part of us that's not real, because I came out of my body. I came out of my body to the point where I looked back and saw my body sitting there. And when you experience that, it shows you something. So what I experienced was I had a real realization that the part of me that was up, moving around and thinking, didn't need that body that was laying back there sleeping. And so I was like, okay, so I know I know what's real and what isn't real. And I know that this place where we come that isn't real, it is an illusion, that it isn't, it's like people here think that they need to do all these steps to get to heaven. But I know heaven is our home, and then we are leaving home to come here, and we'll always go back home. You don't have to jump through a bunch of hoops to get back there, but it does have to do with vibration, and it does have to do with learning and stuff. But to me, I don't look at it as like a trap, because you have eternity, and what you are actually doing is learning. So you're growing and learning, which is the expansion to the heavens, to the universe. Like the creation of the new earth is an expansion in the heavens. So it's an expansion of the vibration of, the light. And so, hold on, I'll make it more clear, I guess. Because it's a higher vibration thing. So what we have going on here is this place is ending and everybody's freaking the fuck out like it's real. But this place is ending. Yeah, it's going to be dramatic because it's like a movie. Like how, if you were watching a movie and it was just a fizzle, how interesting would it be? How much would you even be getting from it? So this world is like a movie. It's got a lot of drama. It's got a lot of exaggeration. It's got a lot going on, because it's like the draw into it. But you have to know your own power. You have to believe it in your heart, your own divinity, your own essence. And that's what is weird, how religion takes that. As a matter of fact, they take it and they say it's only through this other person do you even have anything worthwhile. It's like, that is so backward. And of course, it's going to fuck up the way you look at things, the way you feel about things, because it's not real. And what is real is your divinity code. And so you come into these other vibrations because you are a higher vibration. I've said this stuff before, but so you come in from a higher vibration into a lower vibration to experience. In the experience, you learn and you grow. Because in higher vibration, when nothing goes wrong, what the hell are you learning and growing? You know, you can go experience a bunch of fun things, but you're not really learning and growing from the experience. You're just experiencing. But when you are wanting to grow and to become more, which every bit of more growth you attain opens you up to new vibration. Well, at some point you're creating new vibration. And so you're expanding the heavens. And so this concept of the new earth, leaving a low vibration, going into a high vibration, that is an expansion. So it gives more destination for your soul to experience into a higher vibration, higher realms. And so it's a good thing what's happening, but it is and it is kind of like one, it's the same thing as like the separation. It is like this separation, because there still is going to be this realm where I guess they would still call it Earth or something, that would still be a place where you could go and be in low vibration. But it is kind of like, so it's kind of like the remnants of us, the body we leave behind, in our soul leaving that body and leaving and going into the heavens. So that's kind of like what the earth is doing. The earth is spiritually leaving and going into a higher realm. Like it's learned what it needs to learn and it's going, but the remnants are still there for the people to continue to learn on. But it's kind of like the same thing as us at this period of time. We look back at all of this history, these past civilizations, and we try and put them together with our civilization, but they are all just these windows of time. And so it's the same thing as those being remnants of different times. So it's kind of like this earth remnant is left behind, just like the skeletal remains of the earth is left behind. But the new earth, the soul, the ascended part of the earth, the higher vibration, then it goes and it becomes a whole new environment for experience. So it is an expansion in the universe, and that is when there's an expansion. So that's kind of like what this Big Bang, the solar flash, whatever it is, that's the earth creating a new world. So it's like where we say that this is the separation between the two energies, this solar flash situation, or however it goes down. And I said it's like this Big Bang, and that's what it's like, a new world start with this energetic surge, this Big Bang. And so it's energy. And that's the thing, is like a lot of religion doesn't teach about with energy and vibration. And if it is in the older books or whatever, but it seems like there's newer books to be written, and there's more deeper understanding, that they didn't have the same understanding when they wrote the old books. So they may not have the same information about energy and vibration, but that is a part of existence. And so this thing that's going to happen, this separation between the two energies, where everybody just focuses on the stupid people or separating from the smart people or whatever, which to me, the separation is between control and freedom. It's between dark and light. And so it's this separation of like the earth dying and going to its new place in the heavens. And so it's this big bang of energy that separates it, kind of like when we die and we separate from our existence, our avatar in this reality. Then it's like this little energetic thing that propels you out of your body. But this is going to be on a much bigger. It's going to be this big bang of energy, the separation between the old earth and the new earth, and the energy that is a part of that one, and that energy that is a part of the new one. And the new one, just as in this one presently, that there was multiple realities going. It wasn't just one. You go to so many different places. It's totally, totally different realities. They're in totally different lessons. They're in totally different cultures. Like all these different things are different realities. And so that's going to be the same thing on the new earth. It's not going to just be one thing where, you know, just like that one woman who's out in the forest or whatever, in all of the stuff that she was experiencing. It's not going to just be one experience. And that's why you don't want to just focus all your energy of getting to where she's at, because you have no idea where you're headed. But you're going to be headed to where you're supposed to be. That's what you can't get away from. You're always going to end up at the bus stop you're supposed to be at, the train station that's waiting to take you where you need to go. You can't be at the wrong place. It's just impossible. That's a part of destiny and timing. It's a part of how the universe works, the transits, or however you want to look at it. So, you don't have to force things and try and figure out where you're going to be or where you're going to go. You're going to be right where you're supposed to be, and you're going to go right where you're supposed to go. And it's going to have to do with vibration, and so and that's why I've said it's weird, because how the religious people are, you know, really low vibration, very, very low, and they don't realize it, and you can't get them to see. They're very like restricted in how they look at things. It's very confined and contained. That's what's so much about this world, that we're breaking free to experience our own thoughts, our own ways of being, instead of being in a containment where they tell you what things are and then you just believe it. So hold on. I have nuts stuck in my teeth too. So now I'm just trying to drive me crazy. So anyways, so this big bang is going to occur, and we're going to all go into this separation of worlds, this built on vibration, and this new one. And it's not going to be like just the same way as when you die out of this world, when the people go into their near-death experiences, so they come back, then they always say it was just like you were just all of a sudden out of your body. It's going to be the same thing. That's this energetic pulse that just all of a sudden you pulled out. So it's not something that we need to sit here and fear, even if it's associated with this solar flash. The solar flash is the energy behind the impulse, the pulsing of this energetic change. So it all goes together because it's all in this same kind of realm that we are a part of. And so the some of this stuff is kind of exhausting. Hold on. So this energetic pulse that's going to come in is going to be just the separation of going to where you're going. And so it's like the train comes in, and then we all go onto our trains and go, and that's the energy. It's not something that we need to be like, we're going to be melted, we're going to die. It's none of that stuff. None of that things that the people all are scared of. It's just this energetic impulse, this energetic force that separates the things into new periods of time, new worlds, new realities, new structures. So the Earth one is going to be a lot more decrepit because it's like the decay. It's like what happens when you leave your body. And so, but the new one is going to be where we are going to be feeding into it. And so we're going to be building it up. And it's going to become the creation of the things that we want. And so there will be all sorts of magic and stuff. It's going to be, I don't know, like you could go out in the forest and see a unicorn because somebody created a unicorn, because somebody wanted a unicorn. And so it will be all these different things. It will be different realms, different worlds in the new Earth. And so it's going to be a whole new assortment of new opportunities of experience. And so it's not just one thing. It's not just like everything when you think it's just something's just one thing is a restriction in how you look at things. It's not. You got to look at things way more big than how they keep you looking at things small and structured and controlled and contained. Everything's contained. I mean, you got to look at it way outside the box. And so the thing happens, it separates. The certain people go in this direction on your vibration, so all of a sudden you're just there and you're just at this new place, and it's going to be just like you're right where you're supposed to be. You may find yourself in a new town that's already been built up because there's people over there who are building them up. You may find yourself in a place where you are part of the building. It's going to be all different. And you don't have to try and figure it out ahead of time. It's already set. And so you just are suddenly in this new place with these new people, and you're doing something different. And you're going to know because you are being prepared for it. And so you're learning and growing through all the things happening to prepare you for where you're going. And so wherever it is you're going, you're going to be ready for it. And then you're going to go into, to me, into the new Earth is a connection between the compassion and empathy and caring and connection and unity and creation. It's going to have a lot to do with creation. You're going to be, some aspect of you is going to be creating a new world. And so that's a part of the expansion of the universe. So the beings that go into the new Earth are part of the creator. What would that be? Like if you divided us all up right now into sections, and this is what is valued, or what is valuable about you, rather than the color of your skin or any of those bullshit things that people get stuck on, is the value of your essence, the tone, the vibration, the color of you, in the tone of you, is what is more accurate than anything that is the artificial or superficial side of you. That is not. And that's why also it has a lot more value for you to connect to your true essence of self, to your truth about you, to your authenticity, to becoming the most realist version of you that you can find in yourself. And every obstacle that you come across that pushes you into trying to conform or be contained is an opportunity of growth. And so every trigger, every obstacle, every person opinion who comes in is fucking rude, or any of that stuff. That is all to give you the building blocks to leave that behind and to go towards the most purest form of you. And so, just like, somebody to say, oh, you look like leather, and go put on some sunscreen and shit like that. I'm not going to go sit and cry about what you say. But it's going to make me see the ridiculousness of the kind of stuff that holds us back, and how people are so full of hate, and they want to break people down. They want to tear them down. And even if it's a lot of bots, there's still some connection between what the bots tell you and what the people tell you. I don't know how it works, but one is leading the other. So there's still people who go out and are just rude as fuck to other people because they feel it's okay because they read what the bot comments are. So they think, well, they're saying it, so I'm going to say it too. It's like, yeah, what does your heart and soul tell you? Does it tell you to go be rude to people? Because then you got a lot to learn. I guarantee you, you're not going into the place you want to go. You're going to be back in the trap of learning. You're not going to get out of there until you learn what you're supposed to learn. And if you can't carry forward lessons of compassion and empathy, and not being a bully, and not trying to be superficial and shallow and hateful, then you're going to be back there still learning, because you can't carry that energy forward. You can't even carry it out of the realm of purgatory or whatever, where people say the fourth dimension or whatever. You can't go past that and carry the baggage. So you have to go and purge it out. You have to go and learn from it. You have to go experience what your own attitude brings in. And that is the natural design of the universe. What you put out comes back to you. And so you go through this life being an asshole, being a bully, stepping on people and putting people down. Then you're going to come back into a life where that is done to you. And that's just a part of the learning. So then you see it from a new perspective. It's not as a punishment. It's like so that you can understand the things you do and how it affects other people. That has so much to do with you as a soul. I mean, that's a big part of even leaving when you die and going into the life review. Why would we have a life review, and why would we have to see things from other people's perspective if it didn't have value to your growth? So just some of this stuff, you just got to think about it. And what makes sense, because you can make sense of this stuff. You just have to look at it in a different kind of way, not the way that they tell you. But so, and you can go and read, you can go read book after book after book, story after story after story of people who had near-death experiences where they died for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, people in comas, all sorts of things. And they come back and they tell. There's people who have done drugs and then left their bodies and went into and had conversations with, there's people who said they've gone in and talked to Jesus or angels, all sorts of things. But it's all in how you perceive. So, because it's like you create your own experience through your perception, through how you perceive things. What you believe becomes your experience. But this is a part of the breaking through out of the contained perspectives. And so it's breaking more into the freedom of thought. And so the people who have that ability, who are here for that would be called the ascension. That would be called the people who are going to ascend, and they're going to go with the earth as the earth breaks through into this new realm. Then the people who are also on that wavelength, they're going to go with the earth. And so it's like kind of like an instantaneous ride where all of a sudden you are right where you're supposed to be. And then you are going to, it will happen naturally. It's not like you're going to have to be there and be like, oh, well, now what do I do? People will come up to you and be like, oh, well, we need to build houses. We need to do this. We need to do that. It's all going to go like more seamlessly. It's not anything to fear. And but then once that happens and it goes over there, Earth is just going to become a place where there's lots and lots of different realities. And so you can go for all sorts of different experiences, different kinds of places will be built, different kinds of realms. And then plus we're going to have more abilities to move through portals and stuff, which you'd be able to go back to the old Earth, even though more than likely when you were to go back and to try and make communication with anybody who you know of that's still there, that they wouldn't be able to see you or hear you because their vibration would be too low, and they're still in this belief of nothing is real that's not right in front of them. And so they're still kind of in this mind trap, but they still have more experiences to go to remove themselves from this mind trap. So just like right now, how we're seeing more and more people have these crazy experiences, which is getting them to think outside the box. Like I saw this one yesterday, and so she said that she drives the old lady or old person van. So she goes around and picks up, and is a bus that just goes and picks up elderly people and takes them to their doctor appointments or the shopping or whatever it is that they're going to. And so she picks up these same people all the time. And she goes and she picks up this one woman, and she's been doing it a long time, and so she knows a lot of these people. And so she goes and picks up this one woman, and she can tell the woman's super sad, and she's out of character. She's usually super friendly, but she's real out of character. She's real down. And so then she, I don't know, another lady who's on there starts talking to her. There's some conversation, because there's just these two ladies on there and her. And in this conversation, the woman who seems real sad says that, yeah, her son had just died 3 weeks ago, and she's really sad because she always thought that she would die first. She never thought her kids would die before her, and so she's really sad. And so the bus driver, she's like, oh, that's what's wrong with her. Her kid died, that's why. So she's sad, so that makes sense. Well, when she thought that, then all of a sudden she heard it real loud in her head, something about that's my mama or something like that. And so she was like, okay. And so she's talking telepathically. She's not talking out loud, but she starts communicating with this voice, this being. And so it says, tell her to look in the shoebox. And so the woman's like, what? I'm not telling her that. And so it keeps saying, and it starts repeating it over and over. I've been through these things. Tell her it's in the shoebox. Go, shoebox, 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 shoebox. You're just driving this shoebox, shoebox, shoebox. It's like, shut the fuck up. So shoebox, 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 shoebox. And it's, so then it starts saying, tell her there's money in the shoebox. Tell her there's money in the shoebox. And the lady's conversing back, you know, like, I'm not going to do that. I can't just say that. Like, and then she drops off the one lady. So now it's just her and the other lady. And they're headed to, this lady's going to J.C. Penney's or something. So they're headed to Penny's. So then she starts looking like, okay, give me a sign then. Give me a sign if I'm supposed to tell her this, because otherwise I feel like I'm crazy. And she's going to think I'm crazy. And so she says she pulls up at a light, and there's one of these big blue boxes, and it says shoes on it. And she's like, no, that's not good enough. I need something more. So she looks across the street, and there's this big sign that says box, real huge across it. And so then she's like, okay. So she's saying shoebox, because she said, tell me shoebox, show me shoebox, somewhere out there, if that's what I'm supposed to do. And she pulls up the light, shoebox, and the shoes are on a box. And so she's like, okay. But she's still really apprehensive, like, God, I'm sound so crazy. And I hear people do this all the time, where they get told to go tell somebody something, and they feel like, oh no, I'm gonna look crazy, I'm gonna look crazy. But you have communication and stuff. So she, so the lady, we pull up at their stop, and she goes, can I tell you something? And the lady's, yeah, sure. And so she said, I keep hearing it really loud in my head. So you need to go look in the shoebox. And the lady was like, oh, really? She said, well, that's weird because my son that just died, he had tons and tons of shoes. He has a whole thing full of all these shoe boxes. And I kept on feeling like I needed to go through the shoe boxes, but I haven't done it yet. And I feel like, I just kept putting it off and putting it off, but I feel like I need to go through these shoe boxes. And she said, well, it says that there's money in the shoe box. And the woman was like, so grateful. And so like, okay, I'm going to go in, I'm going to go through the shoe boxes. She said this happened before when my mom died. And there was a big thing of money. And so she said, okay, I'm going to go and do it. So the lady was grateful to hear it. It was like a confirmation to her over what she was going through. And see, that's what we all are looking for, these confirmations, just like that woman. She's got this voice talking to her in her head that comes out of nowhere. And she's needing a sign. We always, like, I do the same thing. I'm always like, give me a sign, show me something, because it can make you start feeling like you're so crazy. But anyways, there's going to be more connection, more of where we're more connected into, I don't know, those voices and stuff. But so as people are connecting into those voices and we're seeing the people become more connected, it's like the joining of coming together with people who have passed that you can't see. And the reason you can't see them is because we are in a lower vibration. They left that vibration and went into a higher vibration. So they're just moving too fast. And we can't see them because we're moving slow. And so, but they're there and they're real and they're trying to communicate. So even if you go to the new earth and you're like, well, I'm going to go back and visit some people, you could go and talk to them, but they may not be able to hear you because they don't trust it. So even if you were loud in their head and they start being like, well, I mean, there's talking through music, there's talking, I mean, you could be talking to people you know through telepathy. It's not even people that you don't know. It's not even just dead people. So there's way more communication through telepathy than people have awareness of. And that is why, one of the things why I say we're going to go back more to telepathy, because language is a barrier. And so we're going to go more back to telepathy, I think. And when we go more up into the new earth, we're not going to, be so much relying on a language and the barrier of words. And then besides the fact, all these occult people saying that the language they created is spellbinding and shit. So we're going to go into a different type of communication and evolve more in that type of telepathy, which that is more of the common universal language between, like, not every other planet doesn't sit there and rely on understanding every language of every single place. It is when they talk to you, it is through like visions and through like, I don't know, these parables, these little story things where it's like, oh, I get it, I see, I understand. So it's just different. I don't know. Like you see when you start doing it and you start understanding. It's not just words and talking and stuff. So, but anyways, but if you were to go back and trying to talk to them, then people may not still be able to hear you because they aren't to that point yet. But then you also may be a part of their healing, about their journey of being able, it depends on what your motivation is and stuff. It depends on, what your drive is. If you feel very driven, like, God, I just got to go back. My son is there on the old earth and he's battling whatever. It's like they're going to be battling themselves, just like they can't see what Donald's really doing because they are battling their own inner demons. And you can see their inner demons coming out because they're just hateful and full of hate and full of anger. And so they're going to be in their own battles, whatever people stay to go and continue through that. And which is still, I say that, I still don't know about this rapture situation. If there's going to be all these religious people that are going to go off and learn their own lessons through that, because I don't know how they're going to break it down. Like, because there's way so many firewalls. Everything is just, they believe they're being tricked. You're trying to trick them. The devils are trying to get them and all this stuff. So they got to go have experiences to pull them out of it, it would seem. But I don't know, because it kind of makes sense that they would rapture all out together and go somewhere else and maybe be singing at the feet of Jesus, and then eons later that they start being like, well, who is this guy anyways? Why are we sitting here singing for so long? I don't know. I don't know what reality is being created for every single person. But if you were in the higher realm, and then, because we have people coming down to us all the time. You have ancestors, you have parents, grandparents, siblings coming down to try and communicate with you all the time. And so you too would go back and try and communicate with people. So it would be more of like, if something kept egging you on and being like, God, I swear to God, I just got to get back there. I got to go see him. I got to go see him. And then you go off to go see him. And then it's because they're more open. It's almost like they're yearning or calling for you. They're wanting more connection. And then you bring it to them, which helps them to grow out of this stagnation that they are in with their soul of being controlled. And so it helps them break free. Because to me, the whole freedom is learning how to be more loving. It's getting out of all of this hate and division. That is the trap. Hate, division, fear. But look at how much they control it, and they create it. They create it, but you wouldn't feed into it unless it was something in you that was being fed by it. Because in every single toxic relationship that you're in, there's a give and a take. That you are also a part of it. It's not just the one person. You're just as toxic to them as they are to you. So it's this back and forth relationship. And so, but a part of the breaking free is breaking out and recognizing your own issues, your own patterns, and acknowledging them so that you can actually move past them, not keeping yourself trapped of the victim and poor me and everybody's mean to me and stuff like that. Because it is your own, even when you think everybody's mean to you, it is like your own, it's you putting out a certain vibration that's coming back to you so that you can see it. But you, instead of looking at it through honesty, you look at it through blame. So it's got to be somebody else's fault because you can't take it on as your own. And so, but a lot of people who can't take stuff on as their own is because they're too fragile. They're not ready for it. And so they have more growth to do. And there's nothing ever wrong with a soul in a period of growth and expansion. That is what the universe relies on. The soul's growing and expanding because that expands the universe. But this is going to be a huge expansion more into more realities, more things in heaven. This is the big bang of energy and creation is going to occur. But that's why I said it's the souls that are ready for creating that are going to go forward. They are at peace with their own divinity, and they're ready to expand themselves and go in as creators and begin to, populate the new world of existence and create the world and lifestyle that they want for themselves, and not be a part of this trap where they keep us contained in poverty and beat down and fighting with each other in this dog world. And it's it's so full of hate and division. And then when you have so many people who are so comfortable in it. But then there's other people who are playing roles so that it gives us the counter so that we can see the error of our ways. We can see the bad parts of humanity. We can see where mankind needs to make changes in order to evolve. And so it's all, being shown to us. But anyways, but that's the thing is, where I started was, I've already come out of my body before. I already saw that who I was outside of my body. And so that's not just some vague thing I read in a book. It's something I actually experienced for myself. And I've come out of my body more than once. But but when you do and you see, you don't need your body for anything. Everything you are is real. And so your soul isn't a vague thing. It's who you are without the avatar. And so the avatar is just the illusion. It gives a visual of a accepted visual, because then we all kind of have this visual, and when you're not the same as everybody else, it's for a different experience. So there's all sorts of experiences happening in this world because of all different reasons. Some of them it's to change people's views. Some of them is to change your own views. It's all of a gain of perspective and a gain of a more elaborate view of things, so that you can see bigger and more clearly, if you get what I'm saying. But everybody is just constantly kept in this box of controlled, contained ideas, and they aren't willing to go outside of the box. But anyways, so when they separate, and then there's going to be not just two places. It's not going to just be two places where people go. There's going to be a scatter of energy, and people are going to go a lot of different places. And so the old earth will stay back in its decaying kind of process of the same way as like how if you were to die, then you would have all this bacteria and insects and stuff, and they're eating at you. So it's kind of like that on the micro macro. And so the old earth will have these beings that will stay, who will just keep eating away, and but they have to see the error of their own behaviors. And then these other ones, it seems to me that they were, because it's not like their lessons are different. We gotta just see, man, because there's gonna be this thing. It's like the lights come on. It's like the lights come on before this event, and like these lights are gonna come on. And right now, I'm telling you, it's like they're flicking. It's like Donald is sitting here flicking the lights. And to some people, it just is irritating. And to other people, it's like they're seeing something every time the lights go. It's like they see more. But we don't all see the same things. And these other people who are really full of so much hate and want him dead and stuff, that they are. But the thing is the things that they stand for are good things. They don't want people to be, immigrants to be killed by alligators or whatever. Like the things that they think he's doing it's good for these people to stand up for that. It's good because the things that they believe, but the thing about it is he's not doing the things that they believe he's doing. That's where it gets weird. It's like, yeah, it's good for you to stand up, if it really was a dictator who was out, taking women forcefully and doing all these things that they believe that he's doing, then we should, as humanity, stand up to that. But the only thing is that that's not what's happening, and they can't see what's really happening, and that's where it gets really weird. But then you can see past that and see, like, well, the media is manipulating them. They're being told something, but this is where it comes down to the lessons behind. You got to be careful who you listen to. And it's not going to just be in that. There's been a whole huge movement through the spiritual community as people started awakening, which just trips me out because it just shows how many people were so disconnected from their own spirit. As they awaken, it's like, what? Your spiritual world? So they, as they all awaken into that, but then they start just looking for a leader. And then you have these ego-driven maniacs who are out there trying to lead the populace through their spiritual awakening, charging them money in order to be coached by them. And so it's more than just one group of followers, but that is a part of what is going to blow, because following isn't and just think about that, even on social media, how they have it labeled as followers, but following isn't. See, that's a part of the spells behind words, is to keep you trapped, because you're not a follower. You got to think of yourself more of somebody who has been in a coma, somebody who has been lost, and that you are remembering. So it's your memories coming back to you, which I completely get, because I had a brain injury that affected my memory. And so it's your memories coming back to you. But it's like you've got to find new pathways to get to your memories. And that's what people, like me, are out here talking about weird shit, so that it helps people find new pathways and remembering who they are. And so it's not followers, and I can't tell you how to get to where you're going. You've got to figure it out. You already have a flight plan inside of you. You are the one who has to connect to your flight plan and figure out your path to who and what you are becoming. It's not like somebody can tell you. They can't coach you through it. You can't be like, okay, just do what I say and you're going to ascend. No, there's a lot of obstacles. The biggest thing is learning how to overcome obstacles, learn how to heal yourself, learn how to become your best version, where you just let things just run off your back. You don't let these people bring you down, because this world is set up to keep you trapped, to keep you a victim, to keep you held back. And you got to break free from all that. But so you have these people who are out there trying to lead, and they are expecting followers, and so this whole breakdown is going to go with the followers thing. And so that's a big part of what, when the lights come on, that's going to be a big part of what people are going to see in themselves, who they trusted with who they were following. And a lot of it's going to be media, following the news, following media, following certain people. And then if you're following certain people, then it's got to be like, why do I think that they're more powerful and know more than me? Like, why haven't I figured out my own divinity? And why do I need them to, I need to follow their journey in order to give value to myself? And everybody's got to see their own value to them own selves. And so that when the lights come on, but see, then there's going to be all the obstacles are going to be hitting them. So everything that was in their way is going to become really clear. And that's why it's going to become very overwhelming to a lot of people, and they're going to opt out because it's going to be so overwhelming. But when you get overwhelmed like that, you just got to go day by day. You can't just take it all on at once. You just got to, there is so much to that. Just make it through the day. And so whatever it is you're trying to face this stuff. Don't try and distract yourself or hide from it. Face what it is you need to face, because it's a lot more scary thinking about it than it is to do it. It reminds me of like when I was a kid, and when I very first had to start, going out in the world, calling and asking, are you hiring? Oh my God, that was the worst. I'd be like, I'd tell my mom, could you just call and ask them? And she'd be like, no. And my kids, I remember when they would be like, oh, well, I want to order a pizza. Can you call and ask them? I'd be like, no, you have to go out. You have to call and order them. No, I feel too stupid. It's like, it doesn't matter. You have just got to do it. And that's the thing, is like we all have to, make those calls for ourselves. And it can seem overwhelming until you start doing it. Once you start doing it, you start becoming comfortable and being like, who cares? They don't know who the fuck I am. who fucking now they have links, you know, to our phone numbers. But back, especially when I was young, you know, you could just call and they didn't know who the fuck you were. They wouldn't know you if you were standing next to them in a store. So it was this really a kind of, yeah, obscene, obscure kind of fear of like being able to, you know, make the call and ask, you know, are you hiring? Can I order a pizza? Whatever it is. So, but this is the part when the healing starts is everybody just needs to make the call for themselves. They need to just get over it. Don't sit here and be trapped back thinking it's going to be too scary. It's going to be too hard. I can't do it. I can't do it. That's what's going to hold you back. You got to just fucking do it. And so you just start by facing these sides of yourself, these dependent sides of yourself. So you're like, why am I so dependent? Why do I need this person to tell me? Why do I need this? Why do I need that? And then when you start becoming, looking at it, then it's just facing it. And when you start facing it, it has, you know, other lifetimes, other periods of time where it was necessary. And so it's not something wrong with you. It's something that was necessary at some point of your existence, and now it's not necessary, but you are dependent on that because they triggered that in this world to create dependency on it, for us to be dependent on them. And so it's just the letting go of these parameters of existence. So you just got to keep chiseling away at these things that it dominated you, that you don't need to dominate you, but it makes you feel stupid. It makes you feel like, but that is also a part of how they created us to hate ourselves, you know? And so, and this has been going through a lot of different lifetimes. And so that is all this stuff, is just facing yourself, is just do it. Just do it. Don't get all tore up about it. Don't get harder on yourself than you need to be. And just take it little by little and just stay chiseling away each day, just chiseling away, trying to understand yourself. And don't be overly mean to yourself, but be honest with yourself and be more open to your entire journey as a soul. Don't keep yourself in limitation trying to understand yourself, because that is going to make it way more difficult. Even though you have a lot of pain and trauma from your life to promote or provoke these certain types of things in your personality to come back to the surface, because at this time, on this period of time in the planetary system, the universe or whatever, is a time to purge it. So you have a lot of things that are coming to the surface because it's the time to purge them, to let them go. But not everybody is ready for it. So that's that. It's not, you know, like anybody's failing. It just is like, you know, it's not even like being held back in school. It's like continuing education on some things. Like, well, yeah, you just need to see more. You need to understand more so that you can really understand it. And so whatever directions people go, we just got to get it out of our heads. Like, some people are going to low vibration, and some people are going to high vibration because they're chosen, and some people are going to low because they're NPCs. It's not like that. It's just souls' journeys moving forward. And then when there is people, like there's people like me who aren't trying to just, you know, I don't know, because there's a difference in these people who are trying to lead people, and then they're like, you know, well, I'm going to take a third, and I'm going to get them both pregnant because that's what God told me, and people are following along, then as followers, and you know, I don't know. To me, there's a difference. The people who are in my comments or something, well, some are, you know, like, what the hell are you talking about? It's like, oh, you need to go find somebody who can understand what the hell they're talking about. Don't start questioning me. But the people who do, it's because it is a vibrational. It isn't like because I'm trying to create a cult. I'm trying to just get people to follow me and do what I say. No, I'm trying to get people to remember their own divinity. And if you're in that vibration of understanding and trying to remember yourself and trying to understand this world in a broader perspective, then that's a different kind of tone So it's not the same. So to me, it's not like there's certain people you can be following, and but it's not the same kind of energy. Like we're gonna see these energies shift, and so there's certain energies that are trying to just help you remember who you are, and there's other ones who are just trying to take your energy and drain it to create their world. And so, anyways, but we're gonna see that shift. We're gonna see it flip, and so but that's what's coming, and so that's what Donald and all of that energy, the movies, all these different things are flipping lights off and on, off and on, off and on, to get us to wake up and see things. And then there's going to be where the lights suddenly come on, and then you just see it. And so it's coming, and it could be the 22nd or 23rd, but I don't think that that's right when it splits. But I could be wrong. It could be maybe that all this flipping the lights off and on, all this Schumann resonance going crazy, is everybody's opportunity to wake up. And if you haven't woke up, then you're splitting off into your world, and we're splitting off into ours. I don't know, but to me, it seems like the lights are flipping off and on, off and on. We're waking up, and we're waking up, and we're seeing things, and we're seeing things, we're questioning things, we're opening our minds, we're coming back to ourselves, and then the lights come on, and the people who haven't gotten there yet, they're the ones that are going to feel naked and embarrassed in front of everybody. And then, which I feel like those people, I would really be interested to know when this goes down, how many of the people were the ones that had those dreams when they were kids of going to a test and being there late and being naked. If it wasn't like a precursor, if it wasn't like they were trying to be shown something ahead, so they would have something to hold back and look at once they got there and be like, oh. But so anyways, that's why I see is that coming, and then this period of time of having to face yourself, and then the energy that is going to go behind that creates the split, because the tension's going to keep building. The tension's going to build and build and build until it splits. And we can already see how much the tension is already built and how it's so divisive. And so, but the weird thing is that there's so many people who don't see. They don't see the truth. They don't see they're being lied to. So there's a lot that is unseen. And it seems like to me that has to be seen to be able to have the basis. So it's like you need the pole, you need the screen to bounce back from. So you need to see what you need to see. And so to me, it's like that's what there has to be, something that's going to have people see themselves, but then it's going to get intense, and then it's going to whatever. There's separations coming. I know the separation's coming. And I know the seeing yourself is coming. I just don't know what the window of time between the two, how it's going to work. So that's, it all remains to be seen. It's like there's so many things in this period of time that remain to be seen, but it's already set. The story's already written. So it's not like you have to try and figure it out and force things. That's why it's really important with you to just find peace and get into the flow. And while you're in the flow, it is important to be really honest with yourself and to be more caring and compassionate and not so judgmental and hateful and divisive. That's the part that keeps people trapped. That's the part that's going to keep people trapped, is where you got to still go learn how to not be that way, how to be more caring and compassionate. So anyways, now I've been talking a whole nother hour. So, but let's finish up what we got going. Boy, this girl needs a bath. And then the pantiness. See, I don't know if it's because it's hot, because it does feel hot in here. I had to shut the door because Archie was running out. There was a deer or something out there. He was running out there going crazy, which if it wasn't a deer, it was something we maybe could have eaten him. I found a dead, headless squirrel outside. My mom looked it up. What does a fox eat? And we know it was eating all those chickens, but it will eat a baby deer. So, and it was something else too. I can't remember what it was, but it was also kind of big, like a baby deer. It's like, dang, man. So, anyways, let's just check out where we're at with this growth. Because I'm really hoping that this, I always think if this pumpkin seed oil stuff really starts working, and even my eyelashes don't fucking growing. My nails are growing a little, which I don't know. 4 biotin, should I take another? But that fucking, those chews, it's like, no way am I buying any more of those. I don't think that they're doing anything. I don't know, they could have made this little bit grow, but fuck. Let's just see what the pumpkin seed oil does. So, but I mean, those chews could be great. Maybe you're really low in lutein or whatever it is. No, it's not lutein, it's an I one. I can't remember what the one is. There's stuff in the collagen, there's stuff in the chews, there's stuff like all these things, all these different minerals and shit. So, minerals and vitamins. But I would think that this would start getting down here. Like, god dang. I would think my lashes would start growing. I don't know. So, I don't know. Once I find the thing that I'm deficient in, I would think that I will see something start making more progress than this slow progress. So, this has been going a long time. I think I'm on my fucking 5th bag of those chews. I think I've been on those chews. I'd have to go and look when I ordered the first one. I'm gonna look at that today and see. Oh, which I got some new copper anklets. They're heavy too. And I think it must be because they all have these magnets. Even these rings have these magnets. It must be that it pulls out certain toxins or heavy metals. I don't know. Like, I'm no expert on it, but definitely all this copper jewelry has magnets, but it makes the anklets heavy still. So anyways, but I'm gonna try and keep the circuit going, and then I have my quantum vibration thing too. Supposedly it never ends its vibration. And I don't know, there's so many weird things. There's just a lot of weird shit going on. And it's, I don't know, it's like the break free from this world that was constructed to control and contain us that wasn't ever real. And then they convinced us it was, so we believed it. And we believed what we were told, but then it's all breaking down. And so we're seeing through all the illusion. And the illusion starts becoming just like absurd. Like some of this stuff with the sun and stuff and the moon, like there's so much absurdity. But anyways, look at that. I really feel like it's starting to look like it's really healing better. Or I was getting kind of panicky there for a minute of like, oh my God, is it getting a bigger black hole? What's going on? But now I feel like it's doing better. So anyways, is it Margot Robbie? I swear, I do think it's Margot Robbie and Ryan Gosling in this new movie about this portal thing. And in the title, it's like it repeats. It's like it says something and repeats it or something like that. I don't know. Anyway, it was just a commercial I saw, so I don't know. Maybe some people see commercials all the time and they know already what it is. But anyways, I'm curious, though, to see that movie. Because there's going to be more and more truth to our world and our existence coming out more and more. And so, anyways, the truth is coming out around us. I mean, the lights are flickering, and I don't know, just be ready because it's gonna be impactful when it comes. And whatever it is, if it's this horned thing flying through the sky that's coming to disrupt our world, or the volcanoes going and bringing the water up, or whatever. But still, in the new earth, it's not going to be the same landscape. It's not going to be the same map. And that the map that they've even lied about. So the land masses are going to change. The map is going to look different if we were to do another map. So we are going to have changes that are going to happen on the planet that I believe are going to go forward into the new earth. Because it's like the old remnants go under and then the new comes up. So the history of the planet will go under, and it's not going to just be left in the decay. It's just the same as how we can go and see the old remnants. It's going to be the same. Like there was going to be, because I don't know how to explain it, but there's going to be still remnants. Where we go, there's still going to be remnants of what was there. And just like in the old earth, it will just be more that they're in the decay. They're in it while it's decaying. And I don't even know if they will acknowledge the history. The history will keep coming. The truth will keep coming. So, I don't know. I don't know. I know but the new earth. I know where I'm going. I don't know so much about that one. I just know that they're going to continue learning and growing. But in the new one, it's like, then and it's not like you've done all the growth that you would ever need to do, because there's always new experiences to come up that you can learn from. But it's like you're going to take a break at least and go experience what it is to just have fun for a while. Just have fun and experience what love is, and connection and unity, and building new communities, and building the lifestyle and the life that you want to have for yourself. So it's just a new way of existence for a while. But it doesn't mean it's going to be forever, even though that reality will continue. But I still believe souls will descend and go back into low vibration to help the other souls come forward, or whatever it is that they do, because I don't know, it's just the interaction between the souls. It's like the souls always wanting to reconnect with each other. But it's like once you come into this realm, it's like you see the holes, the division is created, and then you gotta mend it to get back to where you were, where we're all connected. And so it's just this process, but that's the process of breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out, which is the process of how the universe moves and works. So, and it can't go wrong. It's just the way it works. So, anyways, that's what I know. And what I know is that it's important, if you want to get to where I'm going, which I can't sit there and tell people, like, I mean, even that, because wherever you're going is where you're going to go. You can't fight against where you're going to go. But in the meantime, it is always a good idea to learn how to love yourself, to learn how to love everybody, and to learn how to have the day you want to have, because it's just beneficial. It's just tools to keep with you. So, anyways, that's still my advice. So I will talk about it again tomorrow. So I'll talk to you later. Bye.